Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Monday morning, first day of the week, and it's sunny in the UK. So enjoying it as long as it lasts. You know, it doesn't last very long probably. And today I wanted to cover a number of things which a lot of people may not be aware of or they're confused about. So first of all, for those of you who don't know me, hi Emilio, I'm a personal trainer with 10 years of experience in personal training. I also specialize in diabetes and obesity, as well as autoimmune and thyroid disorder. And why do I do this live? The reason I do these lives, Facebook lives, is I'm trying to get the right information out to people, because on the internet there's so much confusion, there's so many contradicting pieces of information, and people don't know, ciao Emilio, and people don't know what the truth is. Yeah, so my main aim is to try to get the right information there, dispel a few myths that are there, but also try to open people's eyes to what is going on. Yeah, because at the end of the day, a lot of the advice we've been given from the medical side of things is actually incorrect. It's outdated and it's incorrect, and it has contributed to the tripling of diabetes in the UK in the last 20 years. So my main aim is to make as much difference to as many people as possible through this live. So if you find it useful, please share it with somebody else who you know might be affected by these issues, and for yourself as well. Hopefully you find it beneficial as well. Right, so let's start today. So first of all, want to talk about glucose. Yeah, so glucose is your basic sugar. Yeah, so glucose is what the body runs on, is essential for the body. The body will produce glucose. If you don't eat any, the body will produce it because it is essential for the body, and it's stored as glycogen, yeah, in the liver, in the muscle, in the fat cells. Yeah, so when you eat carbohydrate, yeah, glucose that's contained in carbohydrate is stored as glycogen. That's what it's called. Yeah, and it's stored you know, for future use, yeah, for energy, which is fine. Yeah, so we need glucose, you know, for survival, and if you don't eat glucose, like myself, because I'm carnivore, my body is producing it by itself. Yeah, so the body will do that if you don't eat this. So it's not the end of the world. Now, other forms of sugars are, for example, alcohol. Now, alcohol, you know, anything alcoholic, yeah, but is the difference between glucose that is stored in the body as glycogen, so it's used for energy later, so it's not, you know, it's got use for that. Alcohol is highly toxic to the body. Yeah, so, and what happens with alcohol is actually processed in the liver, so it cannot be stored as glycogen. It goes straight to the liver, and as it's highly toxic, the body needs to get rid of it quickly. Yeah, so to give you an idea, if you go out on a bender, as we call it in the UK, so you go out and you have a massive amount of alcohol to drink because you're celebrating, whatever might be the case, the body is going to take hours and hours and hours to get rid of the alcohol, because it can't keep it in the bloodstream, and it has to be burnt because it's really, really toxic to the body. So what happens normally when you go out and have lots of alcohol, then you get hungry. Yeah, so people end up eating anything, more often than not crap. So they go to a McDonald's, they might go to a kebab place and eat the food. And guess what happens to the food? Because the body is so busy it's burning off the alcohol that it needs to burn because it's highly toxic. Everything you eat after that gets stored immediately as fat. Yeah, so you know, don't eat after drinking. That's the bottom line. Yeah, so alcohol is damaging, so don't add more to damage by having crap food that's going to be stored as fat, and the wrong type of fat as well. But one of the issues with alcohol as well, not only that it goes straight to the liver, it's got no use for the body at all, it's completely toxic, it's got no nutritional value, it's actually got a lot of anti-nutrient, depletes the body of vitamins and minerals. The other thing with alcohol is that it brings on, if you have a lot of alcohol regularly, it will eventually lead on to fatty liver. So fatty liver is when your liver, the amount of fat around your liver increases a lot. Yeah, so you got what we call visceral fat, and of course that will happen when you put on weight. Also happens to the heart and other organs. But fatty liver, too much fat around the liver, will eventually bring on cirrhosis of the liver, which is liver cancer. Yeah, so we all know, we've heard it before, if you drink too much you can end up with liver cancer. Yeah, your liver will pack in and stops working. Yeah, so we know that. Now, however, what we don't know, that there is something that is even worse than alcohol. Now, think about it. If you drink alcohol, you get side effects. Yeah, so you start getting dizzy. You start, obviously it's too much alcohol because it's so toxic. Your body has reaction to that. So you can't concentrate anymore. You get dizzy. You lose your balance. And eventually, you just puke it all out. Yeah, that's what happens. Is your body just trying to get rid of the thing. Now, there is a type of sugar who is 10 times more damaging than alcohol. Yeah. And it is non-self-limiting, meaning that your body does not have any side effects like with alcohol. And that is fructose. Yes, what you find in fruit. And most importantly, fructose found in soft drink, any type of soft drink. So don't believe the crap that you hear from some soft drink companies. No sugar. If it's sweet, it's got sugar. If it's got no sugar, it's got sweeteners. Yeah, so come on, it's not rocket science. So in soft drinks, processed foods, oh my God, any type of processed food will have sugar. Sometimes you have corn syrup, yeah, high fructose corn syrup, which is even worse. Juices, I mean, fruit juice, orange juice. How many people have orange juice for breakfast? It's not orange juice. It is concentrated sugar. There's hardly any oranges in there. It's concentrated sugar. Hi, Chelsea. Hi, Mike. So it's fructose. What happens with fructose? How is fructose processed? Now, fructose, unlike glucose and like alcohol, goes straight to the liver. Yeah, but remember what happens to alcohol? It goes straight to the liver, and the body's trying to get rid of it very, very quickly. With fructose, it goes straight to the liver, is then converted into either glucose that can't be stored in the body for future energy, it needs to be burned immediately. Yeah, but what's worse is also converted into triglycerides. Now, for those of you who don't know what triglycerides are, next time you have a cholesterol blood test, have a look at what they're testing you for. They're testing you for HDL, which is the good cholesterol, LDL, which is the bad cholesterol, which is debatable because it's different type of LDL particles, and then triglycerides, which is a really bad one. Oh yes, triglycerides. Fructose is converted part into triglycerides. Yeah, so actually that fructose, diet high in fructose, and 85 to 90% of people will have a diet high in fructose, because I said this is in processed food, is in drinks, soft drinks, and fruit juices. Yeah, a diet high in fructose will increase your triglycerides. Yeah, what happens when you increase your triglycerides? You increase your risk of heart disease, because high triglycerides lead to heart disease. So fructose not only screws you up on the side of sugar, yeah, with insulin resistance, it actually screws you up on the side of heart disease. And what's more, high triglycerides impair the transport of leptin. Now, what is leptin? Leptin is a hormone that's produced by your fat cells. Yeah, it's the hormones that tells your body stop eating. Yeah, if you like, to make you feel your satiety hormone. So fat cells, when you've eaten enough, there's enough fat. Yeah, the body produces this hormone saying stop eating, goes to the brain, and the brain stops the hunger. Yeah, it stops the hunger completely. Now, if you have a diet high in fructose, you produce more triglycerides, which will then make you leptin resistant. What it means is that signal does no longer work. Yeah, and guess what? Leptin resistance is very, very, very high in obese people. So people who are obese or morbidly obese, they're not obese because they eat too much. Yes, they eat too much, but they don't eat too much because they're greedy. They eat too much because leptin resistance. They do not have this hormone signaling. Yeah, because we got diet high in carbohydrate, refined carbohydrate, sugars, in particular fructose. Yeah, that is impaired the hormone. It doesn't work anymore, and so it is actually the leptin resistance, who then brings on obesity. It's not the other way around. You don't become obese, then you get leptin resistant. It's leptin resistance that stops the mechanism that tells you I'm full, and you're hungry all the time. Obese people are literally hungry all the time. Yeah. And of course, when you have fructose, fructose is a sugar. Yeah. So sugars make you hungry. Not only you haven't got the hormone telling you I'm full, now you make me more hungry. You know, they create cravings. Yeah. Where is fructose? Well, as I say, it's in soft drinks, in juices, in processed foods, but also on table sugar. Your standard table sugar is sucrose, which is part glucose, part fructose. So every time you put a teaspoon of table sugar in your drinks, whether it's your coffee or your tea or whatever it is, you're taking fructose. Yeah. So it's, as I say, most people, the diet is high in fructose, and this is leading you to insulin resistance, heart disease, diabetes, leptin resistance, obesity. Yeah. So question is, I want to ask you, would you think twice about giving your children a can of beer? Would you? How many parents give their children a glass of beer, a glass of wine on a regular basis, day in, day out, multiple times a day? Nobody does, yeah? Because we know that alcohol is bad for you. So we don't give it to our children. Yes, of course, once they grow up, they want to have it, it's their choice, but we don't give it to our children. Now, I just told you fructose is worse than alcohol, because not only it causes increase in triglycerides, yeah, it's leptin resistance, insulin resistance, but it's non-self-regulating. Yeah, so that means you can have as much as you want. The body's not giving you signals to, to stop you taking it. Yeah, so it's as toxic as alcohol is, but we don't think twice about giving our children can of Cokes, any soft drink, fruit juice. I mean, how many times we give fruit juices to our children? I mean, anything from squash to ready-made juices to Ribena, yogurt, fruit yogurt. I mean, fruit yogurt, the fruit in the yogurt is not fruit. It's crap, it's jam. Yeah, so we give this to our children multiple times a day. We don't think twice. You might as well give them a can of beer. If actually, with the beer, triglycerides will not be as high, probably. Yeah, it'll kill the liver, but it still won't be, triglyceride won't be so high. Fructose is directly linked to what they call non-alcoholic fatty liver. What it means is that while alcohol gives you fatty liver, big fats around the liver, which then brings on liver cirrhosis, fructose gives you non-alcoholic fatty liver, because fructose is non-alcoholic, but it gives you the same result as having alcohol. That's what I'm saying. You don't think twice about not giving your children alcohol, but you give them all the time, sweet stuff. Stop giving children sweet stuff. Stop having it yourself as well, by the way, if you want to be around till your children grow up. Yeah, so that's one of the issue with fructose. So sugar is toxic. Yeah, so our body can only have any type of sugar. So whether it's glucose, whether it's fructose, whether it's sucrose, dextrose, all the type of sugars, the body can only have at any given time 5 micrograms of sugar in the bloodstream. Yeah, and then it's got to get rid of it. So 5 micrograms is a teaspoon. That's what it is. So every time we eat carbohydrates, especially refined carbohydrates, so the white bread, white pasta, white rice, all the crap, and all the processed food, yeah, our body, and fruit and stuff like that, our body has to get rid of all these glucoses in our bloodstream. It has to get rid of it immediately, because it goes well above a 5 microgram. Yeah. So what happens? Insulin comes out. So insulin is a hormone that is secreted from our pancreas that is there to regulate our blood sugar, because I say we don't want toxic stuff, toxic level of sugar in our bloodstream. Otherwise, it's going to start affecting your kidneys, your heart, your eyes, and everything. Yeah, is very toxic and actually kills cells. So insulin comes out, and insulin's job is to get this glucose and put it in the cells, whether it's muscle tissue, whether it is fat cells, yeah, in the liver. The problem is that the cells, have got a limit. Yeah, the muscle, the liver, and the fat cells have got a limit of much sugar they can take, much glucose they can take. Yeah, once they are saturated and they can't take any more, then they start refusing, not answering to your insulin. Nowadays, our diet is really high in carbohydrates. Yeah, really high in carbohydrates. The average person will eat far more carbohydrates we ever need, and we don't move, so we don't even burn them on top of that. So what happens every time you have carbohydrates, insulin has to come out, get rid of these sugars from your bloodstream, put them into cells. Cells are saying, no more, we are full now, we can't take any more of this. Yeah, so what happens, you become insulin resistant. So it doesn't mean you're not producing insulin, you're still producing your insulin. Yeah, but the cells are saying, no, we can't take anymore. Why? It's a defense mechanism of your body. Because if you keep on putting sugar, glucose into the cells become inflamed and eventually they start dying. So the body is an automatic mechanism from the cells saying, no more, we can't take anymore. Yeah. So, and when your blood sugar starts going up, you know, and starts registering like pre-diabetic, diabetic, that is, you start getting symptoms. And guess what? In a normal world, you know, all things being equal, that would be your warning sign. Oh, something is not right. I need to change my diet. No, what do? We give diabetics more insulin. So that's what the doctors do. They give you metformin, you know, in the UK, a different type of medication. Insulin, yeah? So what we do is, instead of, you know, removing the issue, which is insulin resistance, too much carbohydrate in the diet, you are given a pill, which is more insulin. So what happens now, you keep on eating the same things, keep on doing the same things, and you take this pill who will push, you will literally bulldoze your glucose into your cells. The cells, remember, they're getting more inflamed, yeah, and eventually will start dying, yeah. We keep bulldozing that there, yeah. But why do doctors do that? Why do doctors give you a medication that is not resolving the problem? Yeah, is actually aggravating it. Well, it's very simple, because medicine is based on symptoms management. Yeah, dealing with the symptoms and not removing the cause. The cause of diabetes is not high blood sugars. The cause of diabetes is insulin resistance. That's what causes diabetes. High blood sugars is a symptom of insulin resistance. So what happens? You become insulin resistant with a high carbohydrate diet. Yeah, your body's saying no more. It can take years before you get to that point. It can take years before the insulin resistance start registering on our scale that we use on our blood test to tell you you're pre-diabetic, diabetic. Yeah, the damage is being done. Yeah, for years before it registers it. But in UK and every other country, as far as I know, we don't do anything, or at least the doctors don't do anything, until you've gone outside of the range. The reality is, the moment you start going past, as bare minimum, past the middle of a range, you've got a problem. You've got insulin resistance. You can stop it before it becomes diabetes. But the doctor won't tell you that, because they got a medicine. And it's not outside the range. They only deal with the problem as it becomes a problem. It's a reactive medicine. It's not proactive attitude to medicine. Yes, so that's where the problem is. So sugar is toxic to the body. Yeah. So why is it that we are not warned about this? Now, if you think about it, smoking. Yeah. Smoking is toxic and addictive. Now, on a cigarette, on the package of cigarettes, you see smoking causes cancer. Smoking will kill you. Yeah, we do that. Now, sugar is toxic and addictive. Where do you see on the packets of, you know, anything containing sugar, you know, soft drink, processed food? Where do you see, if you drink this or if you eat this, you will end up with diabetes? It will kill you. Where do you see that? Nowhere. Nowhere. Why not? Well, because it's, you know, there's forces in the background, yeah, that deal with that, and it's all about advertising. Yeah. Let me give you an example. It's I saw an advert yesterday on the television, made me laugh, because basically it was like a cake bar, and chocolate cake bar, little tiny thing like that, you know, if you like, so the one that you can take with you and snack on whenever you want. But it's a cake, a piece of cake, really. And it was called fiber something, I can't remember. And all on the front of the packaging, it was saying fiber, so it was saying high in fiber basically, and only 90 calories. Now, if you saw something like that, you think, oh, high in fiber is good for me, and it's only got 90 calories. what would you think? You think it's good for you, right? No. Number one is processed food. So the moment you see processed food is made, doesn't grow out of the ground like that, you don't touch it. And I guarantee you, if read the ingredient, you will have all different type of sugars in there. Yeah. All different type of trans fat and the bad fat. Yeah. And it's basically a choice. If you eat that kind of food, you get two choices. You either develop heart disease or you develop diabetes. It's not if, it's when. And what happens first? Yeah. The thing with diabetes, you get some warning signs. With heart disease, if you're not lucky, you can go down like that and it could be fatal. Yeah. And you will not know any different because, you know, people don't test themselves. They don't do blood tests and stuff like that. Yeah. So if, you know, alcohol and cigarettes are toxic, you know, especially cigarettes are toxic and addictive. Sugar is toxic and addictive. Why are we not being warned? Yeah. It's marketing. Yeah. It's about the processed food industry is huge. The sugar industry is massive. Agricultural industry is massive. There's a lot of money in that. The pharmaceutical industry is massive. Yeah, there's a lot of money behind that. And the government, to be honest with you, they want more and more and more and more and more studies. They've had hundreds of thousands of studies to prove that sugar is bad for you. Yeah, they want more. But why do they want more? Because the industry behind this are saying we need more. But of course they're more interested in saying that because they need to delay that. Because once the inevitable happens, where the truth comes out, then, you know, what's going to happen? They got no customers. They go under. Yeah. So it's up to you to understand this, and it's up to you to make the changes. So if there's less demands of these products, there's going to be less supply. And then we're going to start changing. The good food will be cheaper and the bad food will be more expensive, non-available, which we don't need. Yeah. So, as I mentioned to you, insulin resistance. Yeah. Insulin resistance, heart disease. Those are two things that are driven not just by sugar and fructose. Yeah. But also driven by high refined carbohydrates and bad fats. Now, I want to clarify the fat issue here, because we are being told that saturated fat is bad for you. No, saturated fat is not bad for you. It's refined vegetable oils that are bad for you. And let me explain to you why. Refined vegetable oils, what we're talking about is rapeseed oil, canola oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, all those kind of oils. Yeah. Now, why they're bad for you? They're bad for you because they're very high in omega-6s. Yeah, omega-6, we have to have a good balance between omega-3 and omega-6s. Yeah, high omega-6 diet, which is, you know, you find those oils in lots of them on processed food because they're cheap oils. Yeah, a high diet in omega-6s is very inflammatory. That's why they're bad for you. Yeah. In addition to that, we got trans fat. So trans fat is a man-made type of fat. So they take the fat, they use hydrogenation, and they convert it into trans fat. That's what is used for things like margarines. Yeah. So it's you know, you might be shocked, but I also always tell my clients, you need to eat grass-fed butter. Do not touch margarine. It doesn't mean if a margarine tells you got extra omega-3 and all vitamin D and whatever. That's bull. Yeah, it's got trans fat. They're not good for you. Just stay away from that kind of stuff. Yeah. So it's the certain types of fat that are bad for you. So polyunsaturated fat, you know, high omega-3s are bad for you. Trans fats are bad for you. Yeah. But these are all man-made crap. Yeah. So the fat that come in nature are saturated fats. Where do you find saturated fat? Well, you find them in, like, even plant-based coconut oil. Coconut oil is saturated fat. You tell me how that's bad for you. Yeah. Meat, you know, chicken, beef, lamb, pork, saturated fat and monounsaturated fat, which are good for you as well. Yeah. Olive oil, you know, monounsaturated fats. Yeah. Eggs. I mean, eggs were put down as being the major issue with cholesterol. Yeah. Eggs, all the goodness of the eggs is in the yolk. Yeah. You got loads of vitamins. Most importantly, you got lots of vitamin D, K2, and you got the good fats as well in there. Yeah, so, and that's natural. That's how it comes in nature. Yeah, so don't get rid of the yolks because they're bad for cholesterol, because they're not bad for cholesterol. It's the refined vegetable oils that are bad for cholesterol. Yeah, so those are the ones you have to stay away from, and those are the ones you find in processed food. That's why I say processed foods has got a combination of the bad fats and the bad sugars. You eat processed food regularly, which is most of the population does, and you got a choice between heart disease and diabetes. You just can choose which one you're going to get. You're going to get one of those, you know, and then you get, once you get them, and once you get one, you're going to get the other one. Because to be honest with you, when you look at heart disease, there's insulin resistance is linked to heart disease as well. Yeah, so then pathogenetics come into play as well there. So, what I'm trying to say is, if you have sugars and in particular sucrose, which is glucose and fructose, that's really bad for you. Yeah, you are very likely to end up with insulin resistance. What I'm trying to say is, if you're diabetic already, develop insulin resistance, you're diabetic, I'm not saying stop taking medication. You need to change your diet. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, because you can come off medication if you change your diet, but if you don't change your diet, your medication will go more and more until it won't work anymore. Because the body, the cells in the body will keep on refusing. You bulldoze it in with higher medication dose, and then they refuse again. Then you more medication, and eventually the whole thing drops off. Yeah, because the cells are going to start dying. It's our defense mechanism. We're trying to go around it. That's not the solution. The solution is to stop eating the wrong things that are causing the problem, and then you won't have high blood sugars because you won't be insulin resistant. Yeah, another thing that fructose is particularly bad for is when you have fructose or glucose, any type of sugars. Glucose competes with vitamin C for the receptors in the body. There are receptors in the body, yeah, that are attached to what glucose and vitamin C attached to, yeah, to be processed. Now the body will always favor glucose. Yeah, this receptor will favor glucose. So if you got a diet high in sugars, yeah, what will happen is you will be more likely to be vitamin C deficient because you won't be able to absorb enough vitamin C. Yeah, and this is actually also valid for vitamin D. A diet high in carbohydrates specifically requires a higher vitamin D. Yeah, so a lot of vitamin deficiency are being caused by our diet, you know, but how poor our diet, how high in carbohydrates our diet, how processed it is. Yeah, vitamin D in particular is impacted by fructose. Yeah, so glucose, which comes from any carbohydrates, yeah, it competes with vitamin C for the receptors in the body. And vitamin D in particular is impacted by the fructose in our diet. So there's two more reasons why you should stop having high carbohydrate diets. Yeah, this is really important, and most important, don't give them to your children. We've got to the point now where we have we're using sweet treats for our children. Yeah, so and we are, when we do that, all we're doing, we're teaching our children that sugars are good for us, and also we're teaching them as adults, whenever they feel down, whenever they feel tired, whenever they feel bad, they're going to reach for sugar because that's what makes me feel better. Yeah, so we need to change the way, you know, the childhood diabetes is on the increase. Yeah, why is it on the increase? It's the parents' fault. The children, you know, they eat what the parents give them. Of course, a child will tell you, I want chocolate, I want this, I want the other one. It's up to the parent to say no. If we teach them that's bad for you and we give an alternative, give them some carrot sticks and some good stuff, yeah? If we start from the moment they're young, we can stop this. Because this is now, the generations that are born now and they're young now, are the first generation that are not expected to outlive their parents. What does it mean? It means they're going to die by the age of 50. Unless you want to bury your children young, you've got to change what you give them. It's as simple as that. Yeah. So, and not only that, they'll die younger, but they die crippled with chronic illness. Yeah, so diabetes, of course, is one. Heart disease, problem with the liver, kidneys not working. Yeah, the increase of digestive issues like Crohn's disease, irritable bowel syndrome, ulcerative colitis, all these digestive system problems, these are caused by our diet. Yeah, and it's actually very interesting what we've been told all the time when I was talking about this advert for this product, which is basically a cake, piece of cake, and they're saying high fiber. Fiber is not that good for you. Yeah, we need fiber in our diet. When we go high carbohydrate diet, yes, we need it because fiber scoops up all the nasties. Yeah, but high fiber is what is causing the blockage in our colon. That's what's causing the irritable bowel syndrome. That's what's causing Crohn's disease. Why do you think that when somebody is diagnosed with Crohn's disease, they tell you reduce your fiber? So fiber, we got too much fiber in our diet, yeah? And where do you get fiber from? Your cereals, all this processed food is full of fiber, it's even, I have clients that come to me and say, I don't have sugary cereals for breakfast. I have Weetabix. Worse, it's got wheat. Wheat is a type of gluten. Gluten causes opening in your gut, yeah? Opens the cells in your gut. That gives you leaky gut. Leaky gut leads to autoimmune. So we're talking about rheumatoid arthritis. We're talking about lupus. We're talking about celiac disease. We're talking about thyroid autoimmune disorders, yeah? Multiple sclerosis. Nasties. These are all nasty stuff, people. Yeah, and it's caused by gluten primarily. So you have a Weetabix thinking you're having a good meal. You're not. What is Weetabix? It's processed. Do you see Weetabix growing from the floor, from the ground? So we need to stop having this stuff. Yeah. Why? I mean, often my clients tell me, so if this is the truth, why doctors don't tell us? I told you before, doctors treat symptoms. They don't look for causes. It's easy to treat the symptom. Yeah, so give you another example. We already told you metformin, insulin that you're giving as diabetics will not cure your diabetes. If you look, every diabetic has died, by the way, 25,000 deaths in the UK a year from diabetes. 7,000 amputations a year from diabetes. Yeah, so those deaths from diabetes, those were people on medication. If medication worked, they wouldn't die. Why they died? But I told you, you can't give insulin to an insulin resistant person. It's like you giving me, I'm gluten intolerant, yeah? I'm celiac. So it's like you telling me, you can have gluten, I'm going to give you a pill that is going to trick your body into not seeing that this is gluten. And then you can have gluten. Great. So I don't get any symptoms, like massive stomach aches, feeling awfully sick and everything. But by the way, you're going to die sooner because the damage is being done. It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. The cause of high blood sugars is insulin resistant. Type 2 diabetics have got plenty of insulin. They've got no problem producing insulin. They just got too much glucose going into the body from diet. You got to go low carb. Yeah. If you look anywhere now, Diabetes UK is a UK charity for diabetics. Look at what they're advising diabetics now is a low carb diet. Yeah, they looked at the study, they finally, they got there, and now they are promoting low carb diet. This is what diabetics need. What does NHS do? No. You can have as much fruit, God help us, as much bread, pasta, rice, grain, provided the whole grain. Let me tell you something. If you have whole grain, lots of whole grain products, a lot of whole grain products, they're high in leptins, yeah? While they are not highly refined, so they don't increase your blood sugar quickly, it's still got glucose, yeah? Too much glucose, you're not gonna come out of insulin resistance. In addition to that, because they're high in leptins, are higher in fiber, guess what? You get constipated. It's gonna give you irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, all that kind of stuff, because it's gonna block you. Yeah? So it's the advice the NHS is giving is wrong. And will not change for years and years and years. There's, as I said, too many forces in the background to keep it this way. What will happen to the big pharmaceutical company if nobody needs metformin anymore? What's going to happen? They go bust. Of course they don't. They're going to produce studies that prove that their medication are good and they're good for you. Typical example of how medication, apart from metformin, is actually going to cause more damage to you. Statins. Statins are given to people with high cholesterol. Well, first of all, high cholesterol is the way the NHS describe high cholesterol is ridiculous. Yeah, there's, as I said to you before, there's HDL, which is the good cholesterol. LDL, which is classed as bad cholesterol, but it's not, because there's two different particles. One is good and one is bad. Then you got triglycerides. Yeah, now, which are the very bad one. As I said, these are linked to fructose, the consumption of fructose. Yeah, so when you do a cholesterol test, they look at the total cholesterol, which is the sum of everything, and then they look at your HDL, which is the good cholesterol. Now they started looking at the ratio between the total cholesterol and HDL. So if HDL is high enough, then your risk of heart disease is reduced. Yeah. But what they should be looking at, and this is now, you can find it in studies, PubMed studies, everywhere. Now what they should be looking at are the relationship between triglycerides and HDL. Forget the total cholesterol figure. Forget the LDL. It's the triglycerides that are directly responsible and involved in heart disease. If your triglycerides are really high and your HDL is very low, you are in deep shit. Yeah? There's a member of my family that I bought, I'm not going to say who it is, but I bought him a blood test for Christmas, you know, because why should I give him money? Stupidities. Blood test is his health. So blood test is expensive, private blood test. But I bought blood test to check everything, because he never goes to the doctor, and, you know, I had a funny feeling something wasn't right, yeah, by looking at him. And with his blood test, his cholesterol panel almost gave me a heart attack. It came back, triglycerides was so high that they could not read the LDL figure at all in the blood test. That's a heart attack waiting to happen. This guy is 26 years old. Yeah? 26 years old. He had gone to the doctor complaining of a bit of dizziness. The doctor found that it was vitamin D deficient. Yeah. Folate was a bit down. And that was it. She gave him vitamin D tablets and folate. Yeah. That's it. Folic acid tablets. Yeah. To fix that. She didn't check his cholesterol at all. Had they not done that test, we would not know. He could have dropped dead any minute. We wouldn't have been none the wise at the age of 26. And what was his diet based? Processed food. Lots of coke and sugary stuff. That's it. That was his diet. Yeah, it's all changed now. Oh God, absolutely, we changed everything. Yeah, but these are 26. People think they're not going to die 26 if they eat junk food. Yes, you will. You know, and God, thank goodness. I mean, had he gone to the doctor, he would have begun statins at the age of 26. Absolutely no. Why would I not want him to be on statins? Statins reduce, again, deal with the symptoms, not the cause. So the symptom is high cholesterol, yeah? So the statins reduce your triglycerides level, your high cholesterol, yeah? But they also reduce the good cholesterol. And they don't fix the problem at all. In addition, statins have been proven to make you insulin resistant. So if your first symptoms of your bad diet is high cholesterol, and your risk of heart disease, doctors give you statins, within a few months you are diabetic, because they make you insulin resistant, then they give you metformin. They know that. They know that it causes insulin resistance. But for them, the major issue is stopping you from having a heart attack. And rather than telling you, listen, get rid of all these processed foods, get rid of all the bad sugars in your diet, and get rid of all the bad fats, have natural food, whole food as it comes in nature, that will resolve it very, very, very quickly. Yeah, they give you the pill that will make you diabetic. And when you're diabetic, they give you another pill. Yeah, and the same goes for other things like steroids. You know, steroids are given for all sorts of things. You know, people are asthmatic, you know, they inhale steroids. Yeah. If you got a certain autoimmune disorder, for most of the autoimmune disorders, you're giving steroids. Yeah. They're autoimmune suppressants. Yeah. So steroids, I was told I may have to go on steroids when I was told I wasn't feeling very well, and one of the blood tests showed that my cortisol level in the morning were really low. Yeah, cortisol is your stress hormone. Yeah, so when you get up in the morning, it's the hormones that get you moving. Yeah, so fight or flight hormone. Yeah, in the old days, we were chased by the saber-toothed tiger. You know, cortisol kicks in, adrenaline kicks in, and you run as fast as you can. Yeah, So in the morning is higher. Why? Because you need to get up. Yeah, you're gone from sleeping, you need to get up. So it's the highest levels in the morning before 9. So you do blood test before 9 to see what your levels are. You do blood test during the day as well to see how it is balancing, because it goes down as you go through the day. And mine were particularly low. So I said, because I had autoimmune already, so I got Hashimoto and celiac disease, it's very likely I will get another autoimmune disorder if I don't control my diet. Yeah, so they told me you might have Addison's disease, which is autoimmune of adrenals, so I can't produce enough cortisol. Now that is a medical emergency. Yeah, it's serious. You die if you haven't got enough cortisol. It's as simple as that. So immediately they got me to do a test. Yeah, and what I was doing before I went to the test, I did research, because whenever somebody tells me it could be this, I'll research it. I would never ever trust a doctor. They screwed me for 20 years with my thyroid, so I research it and I make my own opinion and my own decision. So when I went to do the blood test for this, then I had researched and I found out that what they give you for Addison's disease is steroids. And I know steroids, guess what? Bring on insulin resistance, bring on diabetes. I said, fuck this. Excuse my French. And I thought, so they're going to fix one thing. They're going to give me diabetes. I don't think I want this. So while they were doing blood tests, I asked the doctor there. And I said, if this comes positive, are you going to put me on steroids? He goes, yes. And I said, am I going to become diabetic? He goes, yes. But it will take a few months. But is that a positive thing? It's going to take a few months for me to be diabetic. And he goes to me, well, you got no choice. If you go autoimmune, you have to have steroids, because, you can't live without cortisol. Yeah. So, and, I was petrified, because I thought there's no way. After I did the test, I said, I'm going to find a way around this. There's no way I'm going to take, steroids, because I don't want to be diabetic. Diabetic, your life expectancy is cut down by 25% already. I want to be around to see my son grow up and everything, and I want to be around and be healthy. Yeah. And it's the ultimate slap in the face when you are doing everything right to keep your body healthy and the doctor's going to give you the disease. I mean, it's the ultimate slap in the face. Yeah. So I did the blood test and everything, and I looked around and listen, Addison's disease is an autoimmune disorder. I know you can fix autoimmune disorder by avoiding the trigger foods. Yeah. So, and I thought, okay, whatever happens, I will do it myself. And thankfully, as it happened, it wasn't Addison's disease. What it was, I had overstretched myself in various things between work and training and everything, which my adrenals were exhausted. Yes, so weren't producing enough cortisol. But, it wasn't, thank God for that, But I'd already decided I was not going to go on steroids. Now, why am I saying this to you? I'm not saying this to you because you don't want to go to the doctor. I'm not taking nothing. Because the reality is, I'm prepared to do whatever it takes to not take the medication. Most people are not. The sacrifices you have to do long term to keep yourself healthy are difficult. Most people don't like that. Most people want it now without any effort. Yeah. Why do we take supplements? Why do we take pills and potions? Yeah. None of this stuff works. You don't need supplements if you've got a balanced diet, not unless you got a specific deficiency, genetically driven. Yeah. But let me tell you one thing. I've done genetic tests myself, and I've got issues with absorbing vitamin D, so more propensity to be vitamin D deficient. Yeah, more propensity to be to not be able to absorb B vitamins and iron. Yeah, well, I'm now on a lifestyle that is allowing me to not take any supplements, and that's the carnivore lifestyle. That's what works for me. It means I'm eating meat only. Yeah, I could have fish if I wanted, but I found I have some reaction to some fish. Yeah, unless it's squids, but that's my specific situation. How many of you will be prepared to just eat meat for the rest of your life? Yeah, so the doctors have no choice but to dispense medication, because if you're not prepared to make the changes to your lifestyle in line with what your body's doing, the doctors have to fix the symptoms. They can't fix the cause. They have to see the symptom. The cause is up to you to fix it. That's where the problem is. We want it now. We want it without effort. It does not work that way. That's the best way to drive yourself into the grave quicker. Yeah, it's anything we do, anything we have. There are no shortcuts. All these diets, you know, how many times you've been on a diet, whether this is a shake diet or whatever it is, you know, or you're taking some of these supplements these days that they claim to burn your fat to smithereens. Just take the supplements and that's it. You lose weight. If that was true, there would be no obesity in the world. What is it, the best kept secret? Oh, come on. It's not. There is no shortcut. Even the NHS tried the shortcut, which is called Ally. If anybody's heard of this, Ally is a pill that is given to obese and morbidly obese people to stop the body absorb fat from the food that they eat. Yeah. So you keep on having your crappy diet. You take this pill and you don't. I think it's something like 40% of fat can't be absorbed, so you can store more fat. Guess what happens? The body has to get rid of the fat. Yeah, so you cannot go around the body. The body will find the way. The body's a machine. You can't try to fool it into doing anything. Yeah. So what happens when people have Ally, and I know people have taken it, I have clients as well that taken it. What happens is after a while you start taking it, you get a massive attack of diarrhea, but you can't control it. You could be walking down the street and it just comes out. Imagine that. Oh my God! I mean, how embarrassing is that? And at night you'll have nice sweat. When you wake up in the morning, the bed is yellow. You're sweating fat through your skin. The body has to get rid of it. So when people go on this medication, as soon as they start getting the side effects, guess what happens? They stop taking it and say, oh, fuck, I don't want that. I want to lose the weight, but I don't want that. But no, you can't have it both ways. You take the medication, you accept the side effects. It's going to screw your health. But that's the easy option. Or you make the change you need to make. That's the only two choices you have. There is no other way. So stop looking for the easy way. Stop looking for no effort. It does not exist. It's lifetime changes. All you got to do is eat healthily. Stop having cereals for breakfast. Stop. Have some protein. It's been proven in so many studies. Protein is what you need for breakfast. Have a nice piece of egg. Yeah, have some eggs, anything. Have some yogurt, but natural yogurt, like Greek style yogurt. Yeah, look at your ingredients. Don't look at the front of a packaging, please. The front of a packaging is just marketing from the company, marketing ploy. Look at the ingredients. The ingredients at the back are based on the amount of the ingredient in the package. So it goes from the highest amount to the lowest amount. If you see anything like, you know, vegetable oils, sugar, and sugar is down as sugars, fructose, dextrose, maltodextrin, there's all different types of sugars. If in the first 5 ingredients, put the fucking thing down. It's not food. It's a heart attack or diabetes on the plate. Natural food as it comes. So what you want to do, you want to have, if you are allowed to eat anything, if you've got no restriction, whether it's a religious or, you know, allergic restriction, have meat, fish, particularly oily fish like salmon, mackerel, anchovies. It's got the good fat, omega-3 fat. By the way, omega-3 brings your cholesterol, the bad cholesterol down. That's what you need. That's the good fat. Do they tell you that? No, because fat is bad. Fat gives you high cholesterol. Bullshit. It doesn't. The bad fat gives you the high cholesterol, which is in processed food. They don't tell you that. They should have on processed food. This will give you diabetes. This will give you heart attack. Would you touch if I said that? No. You wouldn't do that. And most people, would you give it to your children? No, you wouldn't. So, you know, you've got to understand this. This is marketing. Look at the ingredients. That's what you're going to do. So eat meat, eggs, fish, yeah? Careful with dairy. And you need to check if you've got intolerance, yeah? And you won't know if you've got intolerance unless you come off it completely, yeah? A lot of people got an issue with dairy. It's not necessarily lactose. It's the casein, the protein in the dairy, or the whey, yeah? So come off dairy completely for a month, and then reintroduce. If you have any reaction, so it could be anything from constipation to diarrhea to bloating, yeah, that needs to be out. Take it out. yeah, and just live with that. Sorry, you gotta live with that, yeah, okay? So vegetables, all the colors in the world have vegetables. Potatoes are not vegetables. Potatoes are starches. If you want to have potatoes, have sweet potatoes. White potatoes are high carbohydrate, very high carbohydrate, very high sugars, will get your insulin up. Yeah, okay. So fruit, right? If you are diabetic, please, no. There's no space for fructose in your diet. You're already insulin resistant. Do you want to get a heart attack on top of that? If you're diabetic, no fruit, please. There's plenty of vegetables. What is this idea that if you don't eat fruit, you don't have enough vitamin? I don't eat fruit or vegetable at all. I'm carnivore. I've done my vitamin check. Perfect. It's the first time a vitamin D is normal without taking supplements. Is a fallacy to believe you need fruit for vitamins. You have plenty of vitamins in vegetables, everything that you need, yeah, and also plenty of vitamins in organ meat, yeah, kidneys, liver, brain, yeah, those are chock-a-block with minerals and vitamins. So have them, yeah. So vegetables, meat, fish, anything like that. Grains, okay, grains. If you really must have grains, guys, please stick to whole grains, yeah, and stick to as it comes in nature. The best grains you can go for is rice, whole grain rice, and quinoa, yeah. Everything else, don't bother, because if you have a plate, yeah, that contains, part of it is protein and good fats, and part of it is the other half of it is vegetable, you got plenty of carbohydrate, yeah. Don't need no more. Don't need to fill up your thing with grains. You can have sweet potato if you want to have something a bit more filling. That's fine. You know, can have quinoa if you want. Yeah, it's complete protein. This is the only plant that has complete protein, plant-based protein. Yeah, everything else. If you think that lentils and beans are proteins, you are wrong. They are carbohydrates. They contain a beta protein, but many carbohydrates. And guess what? The protein they contain is not complete protein. So you have that and you think you're going to have enough protein. You don't. Because in order for them to become complete proteins, you have to match them with grains. And guess what? Grains are more carbohydrates. So, you know, if you're on a vegetarian or vegan diet, you are on a very high carbohydrate diet. Yeah? Very high carbohydrate diet. What did I tell you? Very high carbohydrate diet leads to insulin resistance. So, you know, you have to make your choices. At some point, you got to choose what's more important, your health, you know, or your beliefs. I was vegetarian for 27 years from point of view of belief. Yeah, didn't want to hurt animals. We don't need to have meat to survive. You know, we're not like lions that need to feed them other animals. They got no other choice. We can eat other things. We got plenty of food around. How wrong was I? 27 years of vegetarian diet got me 2 autoimmune disorders. And it wasn't until I introduced animal foods. Another time I was having dairy and eggs, yeah, as well. When I introduced meat, my body changed completely. Completely. And now I put my autoimmune disorders in complete remission. I actually did some blood tests recently to check my hormones level because I'm menopausal. So I was put on HRT from a private endocrinologist. It was plant-based HRT, which is the amount of hormones I need specifically based on my blood test, how much estrogen, progesterone, everything I needed for my blood test. Yeah, I've been on that for ages, for a year now, and then I went on carnivore diet again. I did the last blood test. My estrogen is as high as somebody who's not menopausal, and my testosterone go high. I've come off them completely, and I'm menopausal. I've got no symptoms. No symptoms whatsoever come off them. In addition to that, my thyroid medication, which had improved through, 4 years of ketogenic diet, with the carnivore diet now is the first time I've had to decrease again. So I've actually halved my thyroid medication for ketogenic diet, and now I'm having to decrease again because my thyroid is working better again. Yeah, so that's what I'm telling you. I'm not telling you have to go on a carnivore diet if you don't want to. Yeah, carnivore diet is a good way for you to find out if you're going intolerances. Yeah, because you're only having meat, yeah, and for a month, Then you start introducing any type of plant food or dairy or anything like that, then you'll know straight away if you're intolerant to them because you get symptoms immediately. Yeah, so that's a way of excluding, an exclusion diet. Yeah, but you can do that without going carnivore. So what do you want to exclude? Exclude gluten, exclude dairy, exclude soya, tofu, all that needs to get out. Exclude eggs, and exclude nuts as well, I would say. Exclude those 5 from your diet for a month. Then slowly introduce one at a time and see the symptoms you get. That's how you find out if you've got problems. You need to get them out of your diet completely and then introduce them one at a time to find out what it is. The moment you start getting symptoms, lethargy, bloating, diarrhea, constipation, you've got a problem with the food. And then if you want to eat it, well, you got to leave your symptoms. Stop complaining then. If you want to live better without symptoms, you take it out. You find something else to do. Something, an alternative. We're so used to having everything now. We want it now, we want it how we want it, and we don't want to feel any pain. It's no use complaining you're in pain if you're not prepared to do the changes you need to do. Either you keep your pain, or you do the changes. That's how it works. But the final thought I want to leave you with is this, which is very, 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 very important. Please listen to this. I told you before, the current generation will not outlive us. They'll die young. That's down to us. That's on us. It's our fault as parents. We failed them. We need to change this. We need to change it now. Not tomorrow, not in a month. We need to change it now. You can still fix it. Yeah, you can still get your child better, but you got to change it now. Stop giving your children sweet drinks, soft drink, juices. If you want to make a juice, get an orange and juice the orange yourself. Don't be lazy. Yeah, stop giving them processed food. Stop giving them sandwiches and crisps for lunch and snacks, and promise them sweet stuff and cakes and stuff like that if they're good, or if they do this or if they do that. You are putting the seed there that in order to feel better you need sugars. As adults, they will binge on sugar every time they're depressed, every time they're stressed. And let's be honest, we're stressed all the time these days. That's where people go. And another thing is, stop drinking your calories as well and your sugars. Stop going to places like Starbucks and Costa and places like that and having your vanilla latte. Come on. It's sugars in a cup. That's all it is. You might as well stay at home, get 2 tablespoons of sugar, and that's it. Eat that. See how well you feel after that. Yeah. So, and another thing, baby chino. Oh my God, I could not believe it. I mean, I've never seen that before. I mean, I don't go into Costas and places like that very often now. But the other day was there, and a lady, she got little kids. Is it 5 years old? It's baby chino, and I go, what the fuck is a baby chino? It's a cappuccino for a child. It's a smaller version. What? Are you kidding me? You're giving your child caffeine? What is wrong, people? Come on. This is common sense. We know caffeine is not good for you. There are certain things caffeine is good for you. So if you train, if you exercise, you have a shot of caffeine, it's good for you. It's got some antioxidant, it helps performance. But a 5-year-old, they're hyper as they are. You give them caffeine, they're going to start bouncing off the wall. And what's most important, you are draining their adrenal glands. The human body self-regulates itself. Yeah. So when it's stressed, when it's exhausted, it lets you know it's exhausted by trying to slow you down. You feel tired, you don't feel well. So what do we do? Instead of listening to that and rest, or maybe just go and move a little bit, to get our energy levels up, what do? We take coffee, a stimulant, get the adrenals to produce more adrenaline, more cortisol. We are in a constant state of fight or flight. Either because of stress level, we stress sometimes for things that are totally pointless, yeah, or because we keep on putting stimulants in our body that produces more, get your adrenal working. Why on hell are you giving coffee to a child? Are you trying to kill them? You might be killing them softly, still killing them. Yeah, so stop. Start giving your children proper food. You know, it's not a sign of love to give them, you know, processed foods and sugar. It's not a sign of love. You're killing them. And I'm not being dramatic here. I'm telling you. I told you before, children obesity and children diabetes is doubled. And that's on us as parents. You want to kill yourself, you want to take sugars and all the wrong food because it's easy, go ahead. But stop to think about your children because you're doing that to them. Yeah? But even for yourself, let's be honest. Do you want to be around for your children to reach, you know, maturity age, to be married, to see their own children, your grandchildren? Or do you want to get out of their life? Take it from someone who's lost the mother at the age of 7 to cancer. You never recover from that. Ever. You learn to live with that. You never recover from that. Do you want to do this to your own children because you could not be bothered to fix your diet? That's the question. And with that, I'm going to leave it to you. So there's a little bit of information for you guys. You know, I'm trying to give the information. I know I'm not gentle with it. Yeah, but you know what? Sugarcoating doesn't help. I'd rather say it the way it is because, you know, sometimes we need a little bit of tough love. We don't get tough love from our doctors. If any, we get pill from our doctors. That's all we get. You know, and you know, and we also only want to listen to things they're convenient for us. The things that don't require any change. Yeah, we find excuses. Well, that's good for me. Or, you know, having that, I just have that a little bit every now and again. No. Because every now and again becomes inevitably often. We all fall off the wagon. Yeah. So you need, for your children, you are the example for your children. If you eat crap, you can't expect your children not to eat crap. They look at you. So stop changing yourself. So start changing yourself. That way your children will change. But start changing your children's diet. Stop giving them processed food. Stop giving them the quick and easy things. Well, unless you want to bury them. Yeah, that's the bottom line. Okay? And with this, I let you go. Not a joyful thing, but I need to do this. I feel there's a lot of people out there that don't understand this. There's a lot of misconception. There's a lot of bad information out there. And a lot of that is marketing ploy. That's what it is. Hi, Shannon. That's what it is, yeah? It's go past the marketing ploy. Whenever you buy anything at the supermarket, don't look at the front. Look at the back. Look at the ingredient list. If you see anything, bad fats or bad sugar in the first 5 ingredients, put it down. Yeah? Remember, sugar is toxic and addictive, just like tobacco. They don't tell you that on the packaging, but now you know, so you can change that. Okay? Have a great week, everyone. Oh, the sun is going down, so that's not good. Probably gonna get swamped with rain now, but hey, we had a little bit of sun today. Have a great week, and if you found this useful, please comment and please pass it on to anyone you know you think that will need it, especially anybody who's diabetic, you know, with autoimmune, anything like that. And most importantly, please start making the changes for yourself and your children. Okay? Have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.